So hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video. So in this video it's all about getting electronics installed in this plane and maidening it and hopefully having a absolutely fun plane for the future. So color scheme is absolutely amazing, I love it. And hopefully I won't regret that I painted this thing already. Hopefully it will fly beautifully. So yeah, our goal is to get all of this equipment into here. So I'll explain this for you a little bit. So the final hatch will be looking like this. And yeah, so this is what we'll have to deal with at the end. And there's kind of like a fixed spot for everything already. So these two batteries will be behind each other, something like that. And yeah, so I've played with it around already quite a bit, and I think I know what to do, but I'm not quite sure yet. So we'll solder everything together. There won't really be a lot of connectors. So I think the first thing to do really is to get the EDF installed. We obviously still have to make a thrust pipe, and we'll do that out of some very, very thin plywood that we're able to bend. But we can go ahead and get that screwed in. That can't really get screwed in differently. It's basically, there's only one way really to screw it in. It's like pretty fixed. We cut it out, so that's fixed already. And from there on, the CG is perfect with this back there and the ESC somewhere in the range back here, something like that. Then we would have, I'll just mark this up the way I thought about it a few times already, and then I'll show you. So let me do that now. So guys, this is about what will be visible as soon as everything's finished, because I mean I don't really have any mechanism to take this on and off, but probably just be glued on with shoe group, so I'll be able to take it off if I really have to. But yeah, so I think the first thing to do, since it's a normal plane, we'll work ourselves from the back forward. So first thing we'll get done is the engine or the EDF install. So let's get that all bolted in. The thrust tube we can worry about later, since that we don't have the material to get that done currently, and that will just slip over the EDF anyway, and that won't be a big issue. So let's get the EDF installed for now. So guys, EDF is all bolted in place with some nice bolts. So I think they're from some Savox servos, but they're bolted in place with some nut and bolts. So these are some nylon lock nuts, looking good and smooth. And yeah, next thing to do on here is to figure out our cables. So I think what I thought about it a little bit already, and I think we'll go ahead and do a piece of snake skin and then get it attached up here with a piece of duct tape, and then it will be going into there, and we'll probably end up epoxying it in here just so it's all nice in place. So next thing we'll do is head on to doing that. So let's do that now. So guys, these cables are all routed through here. So we've gotten a piece of snake skin, and then the duct will go over here covering the rest. We've gotten a piece of duct tape right here contacting it to the EDF, and there's also more protection. Then everything goes into another shrink tube through the fuselage right there. So it's quite a bit neat setup, fairly centered. And yeah, in here we're going to solder together both the ESC and the EDF. But before we're able to do that, we have to get a few other things done up, like for example figuring out where our S-spec is going to go, because I think currently I'm going to put it underneath the ESC, and then there will be a wooden board or something like that over there, and then the ESC will mount on top of the S-spec. So that's my plan for now, and yeah, we'll see. So I'll get to installing the S-spec, and then I'll be back with you. So let me do that first. So guys, I don't know if this will be the final iteration, but this is what I'm imagining currently. So we've gotten the back down below. I already did a bit of work to the back with the cutting stuff off and shrink tubing it and stuff like that, but we'll go to that later. For now, we'll have the back underneath, and then we'll have the ESC over top, braced by these two balsa pieces. So essentially the ESC will be screwed in here, and the balsa pieces will glue these plywood corner stock onto there to make it a bit stronger. But as you can see, this fits pretty much perfect into there, and this will all be epoxied together. Then we'll have this like that, and the ESC will sit on top of here and screw into there, and these will be glued in just like so. Yeah, so next thing I'll be doing is getting these things glued in, and then we'll worry about getting this thing soldered up so we can have the lead that goes in front. I nipped off the on-off switch and stuff like that, so, and that's just here, a bit cleaner, and we'll have to cut this to length. So yeah, next step is getting this glued together, glued in here, and getting this soldered up to length to be installed into the plane. So let's do that now. So guys, I'm pretty sure this is going to be where we're going to be at it for final setup now. So I've gotten my cable for the BSC here all soldered up to come forward. The BSC power cable is right here, so the battery was sitting right behind the other batteries. And yeah, the ESC is about up there. I've gotten my woodwork glued together and screwed on here. Put some CA around here or some wood glue just to protect the back and to keep these screws from coming out the future. So this is on here. Gotten that channel below here. We've gotten our BEC all soldered up the way we needed to. Very simple, 2 leads. And yeah, the only thing where I'm not all too sure about yet is the one second, let me get these cables back there, is how far forward this ESC is going to be, because with height clearing we have no problem with the carbon tube here, so that can go all the way back. But I would like to be able, so the plan originally was to have it all the way back at the carbon spar. We might get it forward like just a tiny bit to be able to have access to those screws there, to be able to take out the ESC again. Or what we could do is just not use the screws at the back at all and just use the screws at the front. But I don't know if I really would want to do that. I doubt the ESC, I mean there's a bit of play with the ESC at the back, and I really don't want to destroy the wood through that. So my thinking is also that we have a bit more room of play back here with these cables, and it's not all too stressed. We'll have it a tiny bit forward, and like that everything will be nice and golden. So yeah, the next step would then be to get sorry, I just have to get the batteries away. Yeah, honestly, I'm just thinking currently what's the best thing to do next. So yeah, let me think. Yeah, I think we have to get the BEC installed, final installation of the BEC back in there underneath, and then we can work on getting all of this stuff soldered down. So let's do that now. I think we're able to go ahead now and move on to the ESC install. So what I've done now, just to explain and clarify this a bit more for you, because this all looks unfamiliar in my opinion. So what I did is basically I screwed the corner stock here, or whatever I did here with the balsa of the corner stock, to the ESC. Then I glued it in with some 5-minute epoxy. Then I unscrewed it, so we made it so that we can unscrew it. Then I put the BC the back in place, and just so we will definitely not have any interference with wires, with high voltage wires running exactly on top of the low voltage wires right here of the servos, because I did have an issue like that. We had an issue like that before, where that was on the 1 meter Tomahawk Viper jets, the styrofoam ones. We had a few of them. We used to have a few of them. They're quite fun to fly, and maybe in the future we'll buy another one of those. But what happened there is all of the wires with the power wires, and that was only for a 4S, were running through a very, very thin passage of foam sleeving, and that it made a defect in electronic magnetic field that was powerful enough to stop the elevator from working properly at certain power pools. And since this is 12S and everything is even more compact, and literally this entire thing could be in a magnetic field, I just did this to really assure everything will be fine and there won't be any magnetic fields happening inside of here that can lead to my ailerons or ailerons, whatever you want to call them, not working anymore. So yeah, including to that, we also have a separate power lead, and this is just something I want to stop and prevent. So I got everything covered up what I could here, where there are high voltage wires coming through. And yeah, this is the wire for the ESC. We still have to solder that to the ESC. But yeah, let me put the ESC in and show you what all of this will look like. I think it looks fairly clean, and let's do that now. So guys, here's what you'll be able to see at the end of the day. So you have everything nicely cleaned up front here, and then you'll have some battery straps going over here. And obviously we'll put back in place this thing here. This thing will get glued back down in here for a battery strap. And yeah, everything will be nice and clean. Our 2-cell will be going right back there. Yeah, I think this is going together very well. Got a receiver here, one antenna cable will go down in here and one in front. So yeah, definitely I've thought this out quite a bit, and I think we can almost get it done this tonight, and then we have to get some material tomorrow, some thin plywood or something like that, to get the thrust tube done up. So yeah, that's the plan for now. So next thing to do is to get the wires up front here soldered up, because I'm able to do that outside of the plane. And then as soon as that's done, we can check the direction of the EDF, which direction it's spinning. And as soon as that's done, we can go ahead and solder these together, and then we can solder finally, as soon as all of that works soldered together, we can go ahead and solder this to that. And yeah, then everything will be nicely soldered together. It's like less failure points. With that I'm ensuring that nothing back there, no connectors can unplug and get sucked into the EDF, because it will be all one wire that will be tucked away. So yeah, that's the plan, at least for now. So let's get some new connectors soldered up to this. Let's do that now. So guys, I've accomplished quite a bit in the past hour or so. So yeah, we've gotten the receiver installed. I've created a new model on the on my radio. I had to swap out my crimps. As you can see, these aren't correct. But thankfully, to a picture I had, or one that my father made, that where he told me out already that I have it wrong on the connectors here, because of some reason my brain was dumb enough to manage to switch out the leads to look like this, the power box lead, and on this side I had it like it was normal, and the connectors wouldn't work. And then I remembered back to a few months ago where my father told me that is wrong, and I was eager that it wasn't, but it was. So yeah, anyway, everything's running the correct way. We've gotten this in here, and I think we're ready for the final steps, honestly. So I've gotten a new plan, so this will go up in here, and then the EC will go right above that. So that's the new plan. We use some washers to make up for that little bit of space, and yeah, that's gonna be good and will work well. And yeah, happy about all of that. So let's get back to work. I think I'll check up with you one more time as soon as all of this is inside, and then we can get to some final programming before we can go out to the field and fly this thing. So let's do that now. So guys, I really can't believe this turned out so amazing. It's really insanely clean. So the spacer we made up in the back is this balsa wood we used for the, it's the same balsa wood we used right there. Right here we've just gotten a brace across, and then here we've gotten, since we've gotten the wires passing through a brace that goes across here and has 2 tabs going in there, so you can see it there. And yeah, this is super clean. I'm super happy. The only thing left to do on the inside is to add some Velcro, and this is super clean. Looks amazing. I really love the way it turned out, and I'm happy. Still a bit of airflow going through there, so yeah, I just had to do a bit of modifying on the hatch, just a few cuts there. But yeah, I also modified this a bit more. Maybe I'll spray the hatch from gray from the inside. So yeah, extremely happy, extremely happy. So I've gotten all of that in. Still have to get this piece glued in, and I honestly don't know what to say. I'm so happy with the way this thing turned out. And now it just has to fly. So all that's left to do for the inside. On the outside, obviously we still have to put on these here. We'll do those last, and because they'll get shoe grouped on. This thing has to get shoe grouped on, and we have to get the exhaust done. So yeah, but for now, for today evening, is fairly late already. All I'll be doing is cleaning the inside up, so everything on the inside is done, and then we can lay all the batteries in and everything, and see how the CG goes and how much it weighs. So let's get that done right now. So guys, everything's inside, and I'm just getting my radio currently. So let's see. Okay, that's the wrong way around. That is the right way around. I still have to program it. So yeah, but you open this lid, it's a bit tight in there. So yeah, we've gotten the 2 straps or thing there. It really looks tight. So what we've going on is we've gotten our 2 cell wrapped in the side here, and then we've gotten our 2 6 cells up here. So yeah, let me take all of this out and show you the setup. So guys, here we've got it. So I added some more duct tape just to insulate it, because I know it's probably completely unnecessary, but yeah, I'm kind of scared that something will happen. So it's more insulation to the wires, and since the 6 cell both 12S is literally on top of wires, and now there's a bit more layer of protection. I'm aware that the silicone on here is a layer of protection, but this is just an extra layer of protection. So yeah, so the 2 cell LiPo slips into there, right into that corner right there. So there's a piece of Velcro on there. This kind of just slips in here. Then the way it works is we've gotten these beautiful Velcro straps with this little leash thing. These are really nice. It's hard to get off of one hand, but yeah. Anyway, so the way it works is the first 6 cell gets popped into here, and that goes all the way back against the 2 cell and then gets pushed down onto the Velcro. And then the second one goes in just the same way. So yeah, that works out amazingly. And my little 1306 cells, yeah, these ones, they are amazing. And yeah, these things, insane. 12S and this little thing is just insane. It really is insane. So yeah, I'm gonna probably get like a minute flight time with these, if so. yeah, I'm happy though. Receivers in with a piece of Velcro as well. Put the zip tie around here to neaten things up a bit. Put some Shugu pour over there, and use receiver wire. Put a bit of put a slit with my knife. Just cut slit into there with my knife and push the antenna in with my screwdriver. And since this is foam, it doesn't matter. And then that's covered by the duct tape. So extremely happy the way this turned out. So I can't wait to go fly this thing. I really can't. I think Wednesday we'll try. It's definitely gonna be a fun video. I don't know how we're gonna get it up. Yeah, but one thing we'll do before I go to sleep is I'll get everything back in, and then we'll go ahead and weigh this thing. So let's do that now. So guys, we're here, and yeah. So this is in grams. So it's about, I'd say 1.4 kilograms. Yeah. So those milligrams will go up, and I've already destroyed my nose. So with the glue thrust pipe, I think these glued on, those will be about 1.4. So yeah, one second, I'll go check how much it's supposed to weigh. It's supposed to weigh 600 grams, so it's almost 3 times the weight that it's supposed to be. But honestly, I don't think it should be an issue, since I made a video about a different one. I've crashed that one by now. I would have repaired it. It wasn't crashed badly, but the motor, the extremely fast one, it's somewhere in the field. We still couldn't find it, and yeah, that has vanished. So yeah, but I put up to a 5S5000 in there, and that's like half a kilo, and that's it. So it would have been about a kilo, that plane, when it finished, like maybe 1.1, and it still flew beautifully. And this thing has tons of power. I'm sure it has more power than that motor. And yeah, but if you haven't seen that video yet, go check it out. It's a fun video. And that motor, I think, had like 20,000 revs, something like that. It was crazy. Sadly, we lost it. It was like a hotliner motor. So it all goes to sleep, and then tomorrow, hopefully, have the necessary stuff to get this finished, and then we can go fly it finally. So let's do that. So guys, we've gotten some paper now, some fairly thick paper to make thrust pipe. So I think I'll end up painting this black. So we'll use the smoother black side on the inside. And yeah, I'll probably go ahead, take some normal paper first, do a bit of a sketch on the thrust pipe, and then we can transform that onto this paper and do the final thrust pipes. Let's do that now. So guys, this thing is just ridiculous. I know the thrust tube doesn't look all too good because it doesn't have a lot of camber. It kind of looks chunky in my opinion, but it works good. So it's just glued together with duct tape, the bottom, so everything's nice and shielded down here, and then here everything's painted black, looking good. So yeah, I want to see if I can show you this, but on half throttle this thing already goes up in the air. So I think I'll honestly just be able to launch it vertically up in the air. One second, I'll try to show you this, and I hope will be able to do it. But so guys, I really hope you can see this. Let me go here. This is just absolutely insane. So I'll first go half throttle, I will be able floaty, and then I'll go full throttle. This is just insane. So guys, we'll get these final 3 parts glued in place, and then we can go ahead and do some bit of programming, and then we'll be finished. Let's do that now. So guys, Fundred is out on the field, everything's done. I'm very happy. So I think we're just gonna try getting it to take off vertically. Least amount of risk in my opinion. So yeah, let's get to it. So guys, Fundred unfortunately did not fly So yeah, so instead of launching it vertically, we did it on a bit of a 45-degree angle, and it didn't stall or anything. It flew about, I'd say, 50 meters, and it just didn't have enough elevator authority to counterbalance it being nose heavy. It still looks perfectly. The only thing that happened why we couldn't go for a second attempt is because the EDF blades broke, because it was quite a slam on the EDF. It was quite a slam in general, fuselage, but it didn't really didn't really affect anything. The rotor went into it there, so that's the only damage really, and the EDF. But anyway, it's still fine. In the future weekend flying video, you'll see it fly, or it will attempt to fly it again as soon as we have to send the EDF and get it back. So yeah, it was my issue because max elevator throw is maybe this. It's like almost nothing, and it couldn't balance out, so it flew straight until it smacked into the ground. I couldn't really do anything, and it sped up and it just wouldn't raise the nose up a bit. And yeah, so I'll see with the CG. I think I'll try and get the batteries to move backwards. We have to get this here. It's glued with wood glue. Get that off. Anyway, now due to us having to get the receiver, the cables for the ESC. But yeah, I think we'll move the batteries backwards a bit, and that will help with the CG. But yeah, so the EDF is also like on an angle, so this is, now it's there, and this would be straight, so it's a bit on an angle, but that didn't help a lot. So it flew straight, otherwise there was not a lot of torquing, so I'm sure it flies great. We'll try to get the CG a bit further forward, and we'll increase the elevator throw by quite a bit, and then it will start. So with that said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this series. I'm really looking forward to this thing flying in the future, and you'll be seeing it, or the next attempt we'll film it, and you'll see it in a weekend flying video. So yeah, please pray for this thing that it flies, because I really want to see it in the air. And with that said, don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. Next weekend we are probably gonna be at an event, and yesterday at the day where we wanted to fly, so I flew the Avanti. Crazy flight. I went super low, super fast, super precise, and this thing, I'm telling you, you will see it on the air shows. Currently it's planned to go to Weston Park, and we'll be at the Jet Power with the XL again, but at Weston Park it's planned to fly the S. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.